Good evening and welcome to the Franklin Township Board of Education meeting. Today is Tuesday, April 25th, 2023. Can I get a roll call, Mr. Bonanno?
Ms. Desai?
Here.
Mr. Grippo?
Here.
Dr. Hopkins? Mr. Jackson?
Here.
Ms. Maris?
Here.
Mr. Shaban? Ms. Singh?
Here.
Dr. Smith? Ms. LaCourte?
Here. And for the record, Sammy said that he was going to be late and Mike is traveling. Can you read the Open Public Meetings Act, please?
In accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act, Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, Sunshine Law, copies of the public meeting notice were sent to the Courier News, the Home News Tribune, the Star Ledger, the Franklin Reporter, Tap into Franklin Township Clerk Manager, district schools, offices and associations, PTO presidents, and posted on the district website.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to adjourn to confidential, please?
So moved.
Moved by Arterman, seconded by Nishida. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourning to confidential for the purpose of discussing confidential matters, including personnel negotiations and special education settlements, and final Sampson G. Smith principal interviews. Minutes of the confidential session will be made public when the reason for confidentiality no longer exists. Good evening, and we are back from confidential session. Reasons for the confidentiality will be made public when the reason no longer exists. Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda, please?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Arterman, seconded by Salter. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that also includes addendum number 10 to the P section. Sammy, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Nishida, would you read the mission statement, please?
Sure. Franklin Township Public Schools embraces its diversity, fosters excellent educational innovation, and empowers all students to achieve their highest potential.
Thank you. And now we are on to the fun stuff. A presentation for our volunteer recognition, because can't do without our volunteers. So we would like to thank our amazing volunteers for the past leadership of the Franklin High School Booster Club and Franklin Athletics Booster Club, and the participants in the Teacher Leadership Academy and school-based CLR teams. Is there a presentation, Mary?
Yes, thank you. Thank you all for coming this evening as we recognize and thank members of the Franklin High School Booster Club and its descendant, the Franklin Athletics Booster Club. While we could not ever thank everyone who has been part of these organizations since their inception over 50 years ago, we tried to gather some of the leaders from the past 30 years. Some of the names we read about in some older varsity dinner programs have passed away, while others have moved away from Franklin. But what struck me the most as I read over the programs from 1993 and 2003 was the familiarity of the names. Students who were named Athletes of the Year or Booster Club Scholarship winners who have come back and are now district staff members. Volunteers named in those books who are staff members now, and coaches who are still staff members. The purpose of this organization has always been to support the student athletes, staff, and athletic program of Franklin High School and the Franklin Township Public Schools. The organizations have, over the years, consisted of parents, teachers, coaches, students, and community members. As their children have graduated, some volunteers moved on, others stayed, and some new warriors joined and brought a fresh perspective to the tried and true values of this organization, service for our student athletes. When asked why they volunteered, some of our honorees said, "I wanted to help the student athletes have their best high school experience possible," or because all of my 3 kids were 3-sport athletes from 1994 to 2007. I felt that this was the way I could support them in addition to supporting their coaches and our athletic program. What do our honorees remember most about serving? Working for a group of dynamic individuals who were sincerely committed to ensuring our student athletes' needs were met. Others said that meeting others who have become their lifelong friends will be what they will always remember. And what they are most proud of? The overall success of the organization, the fact that each year they continue to grow and find new ways to give back to our student athletes and teams. And for Mr. McLaughlin, who was active with the Booster Club for many years, he says, "My biggest accomplishment was convincing Marissa Gallagher to join, and she has rewarded everyone by staying and being a dedicated, hardworking member all these past years. Mrs. Gallagher has been president of the organization for the last 10 years and is getting ready to pass the torch to some new leaders next year." Through the years, the Booster Club has become an integral part of Franklin High School athletics. They have provided scholarships for our student athletes, coordinated all the senior day activities for our senior athletes, including senior gifts and pictures. They have provided game day chairs, lightweight wrestling mats, and financial support and a shed for the tennis team. The organization has allotted gift money for each athletic team to spend on an end-of-the-year celebration or on other wants that are not covered in the athletic budget. These include rings for state champions, supportive team fundraisers for competition trips, team banners, individual banners, event canopies, and food for athletes. But their contributions are not always material. The sense of community that being part of that group brings, along with the warrior pride they generate, is priceless. They even keep track of alumni athletes and spread good news about them. As I said earlier, we would not be able to gather all those who have served in leadership roles in the Booster Club over the years. But we do have a few individuals who we were able to reach out to, some of whom are here tonight. So if you are here, please join me, and Mr. Margolin, if you could come up to the podium, and receive a certificate of appreciation on behalf of the Board of Education. Come.
Come on down.
Should we make them assort themselves in alphabetical order?
No, I think you could read their names if you'd like.
So I'll read everybody?
Yeah, read everybody. I'm not sure everybody's here, but if you would.
So I know that we have a long meeting tonight, but you guys know better than to give me a microphone, so I'll be really brief. 1 minute. I've been in district 21 years, and when I started as a coach, it was T-Mac and his crew, and you could see what they did just had a huge impact on the athletes and the parents and the community. And from everybody that was involved at that point to now, the torch has been passed. And then where the torch will go moving forward, I am personally incredibly in debt to the Booster Club and everything the Booster Club has accomplished, because we're like-minded in that everything we do are for the benefits of our athletes and our kids. So thank you for all of that. Without further ado, Claire Anderson, Brian Bamrick. Thank you. Nicholas DiMeglio. Marissa Gallagher. Andrew Hooper. Patsy Hooper Mestrich. Maeve McLaughlin.
You know where to find her? Yeah.
Andrew Hooper. Jody Meyer. Karen Natekow. Helene Osmond. Bill, would you know where she is? Helene? Usually where you can find Bill, you find Helene.
That's Karen and Jody's sister.
I can give it to Eric, and he can give it to his mom. And...
I wasn't kidding when I said they were like a family.
Fred Simonson. Rebecca Solomon. I'm sorry, I just have to. And Walt Wagos.
He's watching his grandchildren.
He's watching his grandchildren? Okay. Thank you, everybody. We really appreciate everything the Booster Club does. Oh, we got this one already. Oh, I'm stealing your thunder?
No, you were supposed to do that one.
To what? This one? I already gave him this. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't think
Tom McLaughlin, we're going to give him another one.
I'm sorry, everybody. If you could go and say, shake the board's hand, and then we'll take a quick picture with them. Did we do two for you? We did? You think we're joking, or did we do two for you?
First one I gave was
Oh, okay. There you go. I thought you were joking. Sorry. You pulled it. That's what I thought. You were waiting for the end because you were going to say something.
Can we get our high school principal, Dr. Solomon?
You want to get in there for the yeah, so you
Mr. Athletic Director, if you would. You guys are just going to circle back.
That's for the picture you can might want to come on this end.
Mary, you got the picture?
That's your picture right now. Is there someone missing in the middle?
Hold on.
No, John wanted something open in the middle, so you see more.
Organize them how you want, Mary. I was just trying to.
Everybody. Good. Great. Does anybody else want to take a picture? And the last quote is from Howard Cosell. The ultimate victory in competition is derived from the inner satisfaction of knowing that you have done your best and that you have gotten the most out of what you have had to give. To all of you who have helped our student athletes over the years truly compete to their best, by your giving the most of what you have had to give, we thank you. Our second presentation of the evening is a recognition of our equity team leaders. Thank you all for coming this evening as we recognize and thank members of our equity teams, both past and present. In the summer and early fall of 2020, the Franklin Township Board of Education approved a system-wide equity needs assessment and adopted an anti-racism policy and its accompanying regulation. The needs assessment, conducted by Dr. Lenise Stevenson, was a qualitative and quantitative analysis which enabled us to identify the factors that contribute to a sense of school belonging for students from traditionally marginalized racial and ethnic minority backgrounds, and helped us to identify processes and practices that cause or contributed to inequitable student outcomes. In February of 2021, the results of the needs assessment were developed into an equity action plan, which was adopted by the board. The plan focused on 4 areas: anti-racism, cultural and linguistic responsiveness, equity literacy, and school belonging, each with its own goals. These goals were further developed into action steps, which were acknowledged by the board in June of 2021, and subcommittees to track the progress towards these goals were created. Volunteer staff members from each school began attending the Teacher Leadership Academy in 2021 school year. These monthly, mostly virtual training sessions, led by Dr. Stevenson, guided the participants in first examining their own stories, personal history, educational experiences, cultural background, and implicit biases. As the months progressed, the focus shifted towards best practices in pedagogy and a look at the curriculum with an eye towards how students from varied backgrounds might respond to it. In ongoing efforts, these teams are learning how to use this information more to create a sense of belonging and equitable opportunities for all students. The discussions from these sessions fostered included topics such as curriculum revision, teacher recruitment, and discipline. While the discussions that flowed in and from the Teacher Leadership Academy touched on a wide variety of subjects aimed at supporting goals in each area of the equity plan, there were specific lessons and skills that all classroom teachers could benefit from. These skills were honed by the school-based culturally and linguistically responsive teaching teams. These teams met separately following the Teacher Leadership Academy meetings and brainstormed on how to take specific lessons on CLR and share them with the faculty in a way that would promote participation and collaboration. Time at faculty meetings was given to these teams so they could turnkey their training to all teaching staff. These team members remain a resource and example for their colleagues even after those trainings. And so we thank them. Here are the names of those who have either served in the Teacher Leadership Academy or have served on the school-based CLR teams. The asterisks next to teaching staff members are those who have served for multiple years. I'm just going to call each school up, and if you are in the audience, if you could come forward, receive your certificate from Mr. Plummer, and say your name, then you can shake the board's hand, and we'll take a photo like the other group. Is anyone here from Franklin High School?
Come on up.
Come on up. I can make this, let me see, yeah, I should have. I can even do the certificates.
But they are, I think, in group order. Us. There we go. Warren Chin. Warren Chin.
Okay, if you'll say your name. Here. Down.
Hi, my name is Warren Chen.
Give him a round of applause.
Do it at the end.
Yeah. Franklin Middle School at the Hamilton Street campus. I know you. You can say your name.
Hi, I'm Anissa Busalam.
Good evening. I'm Leanne Ingalls. You can shake and we'll give them to you after. Anyone here from Franklin Middle School at the Sampson G. Smith campus? Come on. Vice Principal. If you would say your name.
Jill Santoni. Josephina Ortiz.
Jared Sheffrin.
Shake will get you your certificate afterwards, please. Anyone here from Claremont Elementary School? Okay, we'll be sending those in inter-office mail. Anyone here from Connerly Road School? Yeah. Say your name, please.
Rania Saba. Maxine Robinson. Janelle Lord.
Is there anyone here from Elizabeth Avenue School? And accepting on behalf of his whole team who were unable to make it this evening is Principal
Greg Romero.
Thank you. Yours showed up right away.
Franklin Park School and Annex.
Hi, Felicia Osley.
Rebecca Solomon.
Gay McGee. Go ahead, you can shake first. Hillcrest School. Okay. McAfee Road School. I see a whole row of Pine Grove people. Come on down.
Thank you. Hello, Edgar Vasquez Molina.
Lorena Gonzalez.
Lauren Krause. Andrea Lineski. Hennessy Miles.
Yes, I want to say a few words about these. It is a party. And for those of you who do not know me, my name is Darren Plummer. I'm my supervisor of equity and inclusion here in the district. And I just want to talk first about the types of people that our teacher leaders were. They shine light in their classrooms. They shine light in their buildings. They shine light to their colleagues. And that's aside from the professionalism, the courage, the intentionality they show up with every day for our students, for our families, and for each other in the buildings. I'm not going to say too much more than that. I know when my time is run out, Kenny. So I just want to share that with you and thank them so much for their time, commitment, dedication to our students and families in our district.
My time never runs out.
Don't go anywhere, because I want to personally say thank you as well. Actually, on Thursday, I'm going to attend a meeting where there are districts across the state of New Jersey who are going to be talking about trying to organize what you folks have spent the last 2 years already organizing. So there are folks realizing the importance of the work that you engaged in and how important it is to improve the teacher-student relationship and to provide a better experience for our students, no matter what backgrounds, what their, what history, no matter what, it's important. And folks are recognizing that. And with that said, I'm going to be proud to be there, and Darren's going to be with me. We're going to be proud because we're going to share what our positive experience has been and the work that you all have done to make an impact on so many students. And the work is far from being done, I realize that, but know that there's not a lot of folks in your company, and you are really blazing a path for a lot of other folks to emulate. So we are super proud of you. You do a tremendous, tremendous, tremendous job setting an example within your schools. So, from me, on behalf of our board, who is very familiar with the work, Mr. Plummer, and Dr. Logren, who should be super proud because he has done yeoman's work to organize and initiate a lot of what's taken place here. So credit to him, credit to you all, credit to this gentleman and all of our principals. So proud of you. Thank you so much.
Surely.
I think you're gonna have to maybe make another row.
Dan, come up in the picture. No, you should get in the picture, Dan.
Anybody else? The certificates are in the back. I'll get them to you. I just want to set the superintendent up with the budget. And with this one, next is budget.
Hey, before you guys all go, DEI folk. Oh, it is on. Oh, so I just wanted to let you guys know that from a New Jersey school board's perspective, Franklin is so far above what other school districts in the state are doing, because that is who we get our PD from as board members. So thank you to you guys for helping to accelerate our process, which is getting our district to be diverse, equitable, and include everybody. So thank you so much for that. I just wanted to let you guys know that. So it's always nice to thank people for their hard work. And now we are going to move on to our riveting public hearing on the 23-24 school budget.
Thank you. So most of the folks here in the audience helped to put this together, so I will probably breeze through a lot of these initial slides, but I do want to spend a little bit of time on a couple of them. Obviously, this is very similar to the preliminary budget presentation that was just a few weeks ago, and also very similar to the open public finance meeting. So this is the third go-round that we're doing this particular presentation, speaking about many of the programs that'll be funded with this budget. So, without further ado, I would like to go to first thanking the Board of Education members. That's okay, Dr. Logren. I'd like to first thank the Board of Education members for helping with their input on the budget. Again, this is our third go-round. We had an open public finance meeting where the Finance Committee worked with us to put the budget together. We went on to a preliminary budget hearing where the whole board helped to approve a preliminary budget that was filed with the county, the State Department of Ed, and then the State Department of Ed is challenged to approve that and get it back to us so we can advertise it. What you're seeing is the approved advertised budget. So they're all our board members. They all sit here in front of you and are intimately familiar with the budget as it was advertised. Here are all our budget managers, and this is something that I wanted to make sure we highlight because there are about 38 positions listed here, and many of the folks that are sitting in this room that have remained behind are folks that have input on this budget. So the budget development process starts in September. It doesn't start in January or February or March when state aid is released or any of the other figures that we're dependent upon. It starts way back in September with the board approving budget goals, and then these 38 people go to work to help us to arrive at our budget, our annual school budget, that once approved becomes the following year, or in this case, the 23-24 school budget. So lots of work goes into this. Kudos to these people. And once approved, they then manage the budget to make sure that nothing's overexpended and that the things that were promised are delivered. Goals for tonight: review the previously approved budget goals, review estimated revenues and projected tax impact, receive board input and public comment, and gain Board of Education approval. Final approval for the budget. Budget goals, I'm not going to take time to go over these. This would be, like I said, no, we did them in September. We went over them at our preliminary meeting 3 months ago. We went over them last month again. And what you can see here, and what I want to point out, is the connection between the budget goal and the Board of Ed goal. So our board has Board of Ed goals listed on every single agenda every single month, and those goals are goals they work to arrive at in the beginning of the school year. And then when they approve budget goals, they approve goals to support that philosophy. Okay, and even though these are future year budget goals, they need to stay in line with the current thinking of the current board. And so that's why you can see that connection, and that's a hyperlink. Whenever you see blue on our presentation, it's a hyperlink. So later on, when you want to go back, when you have time, you can click on those hyperlinks and you can see the distinct connection between what is a budget goal and what is a board goal. The challenges with the budget, and we have them every year. These are not unique, but this year brought some unique challenges. First and foremost, over the last couple of years with the pandemic and pandemic relief and learning challenges brought about by the pandemic, we were fortunate to get some federal funding that allowed us to support some of our programs and also support some of the rising costs due to inflation, transportation, so forth and so on. So there's about $3 million in ESSER funds that we've become accustomed to. And what we had to do was figure out a way that we could continue our programs without sacrificing programs once the ESSER funds are gone and over with, which ESSER 1 and ESSER 2, the first two bits of those relief monies, will be over by September of this school year, leaving only the ESSER 3 amount of money for some additional programming that we have scheduled for this year. So, that's a good amount of money that we use to help offset budget increases that were unanticipated due to the pandemic, and now we need to figure out a way and we did, to continue with some of those programs. Steep increases in healthcare costs due to the implementation of Chapter 44 and some other things like post-pandemic people returning to the doctor, so forth and so on. So we've got a little bit of a hit there. We've got additional increases in, and these are all estimated, by the way. That's why you see the little squiggly and not the, or what looks to be squiggly lines and not exactly equal signs. We've got additional increases in transportation costs. Like anything else, fuel prices are up, insurance prices are up. We have a national driver shortage that we're still struggling with, although in our district we're in pretty good shape, but that then obviously increases the cost it takes to move kids around. So you have increases there. And of course, we all know we're dealing with a national teacher shortage, and we have vacancies ourselves. The board has done a very good job working with the FTEA and our Teachers Association and our Administrators Association to really develop, create a nice recruitment and retention plan that we believe will help folks stay here, and not only that, help us to attract folks. And really it gives us a little more flexibility when we negotiate, and also provide some incentive stipends to folks who are currently here in hopes that they'll recognize that as, or see that as recognition for the hard work that they've done with us, and hopefully that will help encourage them to stay with us. Especially, like I said, because so many folks are moving around nowadays due to the shortage, especially in high need areas. So those were all the challenges within our revenue limits, which are regulated by the State Department. So we're able to overcome them, and you'll hear more about that from Mr. Valencia when he gets up here to give you a little bit more on the numbers. And then I'm going to breeze through these slides because, like I said, most of you either helped to put them together, and or if you weren't here for any of the other two presentations, you can always go back and look at this and click on our hyperlinks where I previously had thoroughly explained these, but now we've got hyperlinks in here to help move this along a little bit. So, but you will see some things here. You know, the number one goal for the board is always to make sure the safety and well-being of our students and staff are well cared for. And you can see some things here that are supported by this budget. We have a mentoring program at the high school. We have a Effective School Solutions, or ESS, program at the secondary schools, and that's a program that is actually an outside vendor coming in to do some counseling for our kids, therapeutic kind of counseling. We've got an increase in safety offers, one at each of the secondary schools. That would include the 2 middle schools and the high school. We got a new program that Dr. Arsawala brought to us, our LineWise program. It's a new 24/7 internet monitoring program. We got contracted salary increases for our wonderful Class 3 Franklin Township police officers. We have one at every elementary school, one at the high school. And our SROs, we have 2.5 at the middle school level. We share one between the 2 middle schools, plus we have a full-time person in each middle school. We have a full-time one at the high school. We have contractual rate increases for our officers for outside events. We've been struggling a bit getting officers for outside events, that we go through a third-party vendor that the police have that assign those officers, and we need to maintain a competitive rate. We always had a little bit of a discounted rate, so we've increased that rate in order to attract folks to take our jobs. We think it's important and we want them. SEL virtual parent workshops. SEL is social and emotional learning supports for students, and we're going to be working with our parents this year, providing some workshops. We've been doing a lot with staff. Now it's time to work with our parents. So that's all new under well-being and safety of students. New under ESSER 2, or actually this is ESSER 2. These are some of the things that we've either paid for in the past or moving out. And I wanted to show this slide because you'll see things like transportation cost increases, technology infrastructure, technology licenses. These are all things that SEL software, these are all things that we had previously been funding with ESSER 2, which ends September 30th, 2023, which now need to move into our regular operating budget. So again, part of that $3 million that we're talking about. ESSER 3, these are things that will be funded with a federal grant next year. and their academic summer school in this summer 2023, elementary morning and afternoon tutorials, transitional homeroom materials, a phonics awareness program, math game-based programming, high school supplemental online math programming, technology support, technology infrastructure, the teacher retention and recruitment plan, which really is going to be a 2-year plan, a 2-year incentive plan. And then some things in the sub-grants that are part of ESSER 3 under mental health supports, under summer programming, beyond the school day programming, and then mental health supports. So these are all things that will be federally funded. But I wanted to show those to you because they're important. And then we move on to professional development, something that a goal that aligns well to what the board's goal is in maintaining quality staff. These are some of the things, and you'll be able to click on those to see in the area of professional development some of the things we're working on staff with, accelerated learning. We want to continue with Orton Gillingham PD, restorative practices. We've been working hard on that. Janelle has actually worked very hard on that with Mr. Plummer, and we appreciate that, and we see that making a big impact, right? Yes, we still suspend kids, but we also want to teach kids how to better deal with situations when they arise so that in the future we don't have to suspend them, because every day they're home is one day less of learning. That's how we see it, right? Monetary incentives to promote educator retention, monetary incentives to assist with teacher recruitment, and additional tuition reimbursement for educators. We're firm believers in the fact that our teachers need to continue to grow, because if our teachers grow, our kids grow. We've got a budget goal here consistent with the board's goal to expand programming. We've got an expanded media center program at the elementary level, expanded FMS TV production feeder program. We've got a trade sampling program, which we may be moving to the high school. We're going to have a discussion about that in I guess, a week or so. We have the development of a CTE program in business marketing. Again, we've continued to grow our career technical education program. We have one thriving program in video production. We have another thriving program in dance. And this is now getting into business marketing, which was our promise and our next step. We're funding a new volleyball team. So Mr. Margolin has been after us for some time to get interscholastic volleyball, NJSIAA competitive volleyball going at the high school. So this will be a new program for Franklin, and it'll be a new sport for Franklin, and we're one of the few in our conference that doesn't have at least a girls team. So this will be a new program for us. It's boys and girls, and we're excited about bringing a new program online. We've got elementary online ELA and math tutorials. We got elementary online STEM tutorials, and we're starting with those now in the spring, and they'll continue into next year. And because we know we have the challenges in the world languages to find qualified professionals to teach world languages, that's not going away, folks, unfortunately. That is a field where there's not a lot of teachers in. We've got some creative solutions that we've been working on, and one of them is to support our teachers using the FL4K World Languages Digital Content Program. We started to do some of that this year. Our World Languages supervisor would like to continue with that program with Dr. Logren's blessing, and we believe that it provides the necessary support for our teachers. So I encourage you to click on that. It'll take you to their website, and you can learn a lot more about what that program has to offer. And kudos to Ms. Schneider, who's been working with Dr. Logren, and Ms. Ochoa, and Mr. Quizno, our World Languages supervisor, on a new program and trying to get some J1 visa teachers to join our team here in Franklin who would be certified World Languages teachers. So we're working on that, actually trying to get some state support for that program, and hopefully we'll do that. So kudos to you, Jackie, and Dr. Logren, and Armando and Julie for bringing that program here, and hopefully that will bear some fruit for us and help us to attack this world languages teacher issue. We've got the expansion of ESL programming at the elementary and secondary level. We're actually going to be opening a new strand at the elementary level. Claremont Elementary School will be starting a band of elementary ESL. It's a growing population, and we're running out of room in Pine Grove, and you guys do a wonderful job. Don't get me wrong. You do a wonderful job with our ESL and bilingual programs, but we need some additional support in our ESL program, especially at the elementary and secondary levels, so we'll be working with some additional staff there. Under the district equity plan, we have an implementation of AP African American Studies, and you can click on that to see what that's all about. That is a College Board supported program. We're excited to bring that here to Franklin. We're going to be one of, is it 60, Dan? Am I somewhere in that neighborhood? Yeah, it's about that. Not to be quoted, but it's somewhere in the neighborhood of about 60 who will be in phase 2 of a pilot. We're joining in on the phase 2 piece of the pilot. We have equity training and coaching, which will continue. You heard from our wonderful equity teams in the building, so we're going to continue with that. We're going to continue our membership with the New Jersey Network of Superintendents, which is really a district membership. Dr. Lager, myself, and Mr. Plummer often attend those meetings, and they've been here visiting our district to see the wonderful work we've done, and we go and see what others are doing, and we share experiences, and it's part of a professional study group. It's a small amount of money for a lot of knowledge that we get, and we're proud to be part of it. A partnership with Equal Opportunity Schools, that's something we've had at the high school for a number of years, and we are going to continue. That was something that really opened our eyes to the work that we're doing now and why we needed to do it. So we're very proud of the work we've done with Equal Opportunity Schools and diversifying our AP and our honors programs as a result of our work with them, and we want to continue that in future years. I encourage you to click on that link as well, because that's filled with information on what EOS has to offer. And by the way, that relationship was something that came out of that New Jersey Network of Superintendents. I was witness to a presentation that they made a couple of years back at the Panasonic Foundation in Newark. It was so impressive. I came back, got Dr. Logren all excited about it. We did our research, we brought the folks in, got the high school excited about it, and off we went. So, we've got some other things in the area of relationships with the community at large, community-sponsored interventions competition, thanks to the Sadhani Foundation, website updates, communication platform upgrades, new mobile app, continued district video productions. Mr. Pinnix does a wonderful job with us on that, and so does Ms. Clark. Translation services, something we do here in this district, where any principal, anybody, if a translator is not available within the school, they can at least rely on a service, although it's not like having someone there, it's at least having something. And then we have our township newsletter that we participate in with the township and share the expense of that. And we'd like to continue that as well to get the message out about the wonderful things happening in the schools. And we've got sustainable and green initiatives going on. One of the things that we've asked you to support is a district stipend, our stipend for a district coordinator of school green-based teams. Every school has now developed a team, and in order to keep that ball rolling and keep things moving forward, we want one person to centralize the effort and to share between the teams and keep things going in a forward direction so that we can see real change within our schools. And we've asked for that, and we've funded that in this budget. We've got a dedicated energy manager. You know, we've got our own solar panels now. We're looking to do some more of that work. So it's a small stipend, part of additional duties for an already existing staff member. I mentioned the Energy Savings Incentive Plan, and although there's no cost associated with this, it's important for the community to know that the board is interested in making sure that we continue down the road of saving money in the energy area, because more money we save on energy, that's more money we can put toward the classrooms. So if you click on that, you'll learn more about what an Energy Savings Incentive Plan is, and we have folks studying our buildings again. We did it a few years back, and we want to see what else we can do so that we can save some money in the area of energy. Anything we're asked to do would be funded with the savings, and then beyond that, the savings would, again, allow us to put more money toward the classrooms. And then HVAC unit upgrades FHS, desperate need of some what we call chiller air conditioning work at Franklin High School. So that is funded in this budget. Mr. Valencia will talk a little bit more about that in a second. And Franklin Park School, really the building we call the Annex, which is the ECDC, the Early Childhood Development Center, desperate need of some work. And we're getting some new units on top of that building, plus a new roof, which you'll hear more about in a minute. And really, this is just a summary of the personnel changes. You can see I mentioned the 3 safety officers. I mentioned the 2 ESL teachers already. We've got 1 social studies teacher we're adding to the budget, and that's to help us accomplish the goals. The goal of the board, which is their policy, which was part of our equity plan. Part of our equity plan was to add an additional graduation requirement that not a state requirement, it's a local board requirement that requires students to take a course that aligns to the goals, the learning goals of our race, gender, and equity course. So every student, starting with our current juniors, Nick, is that correct? Dr. Logren? Sophomores, who will be juniors next year. Right, who will be juniors next year, need to get that accomplished if they haven't already. There is some flexibility because some students may have locks in their schedule, so we're giving the principal some flexibility if the board passes an amendment to their policy tonight. That will give our principal some flexibility for those kids attending vocational school who might not otherwise be able to fit it into their schedule for whatever reason. But for a majority of our students, it's an additional graduation requirement that no one else has, to my knowledge, anyway, locally or in the state, but something we feel is very important, and so did our equity teams. And our students, by the way. That was something that came to us from our students. And a media center specialist at the elementary level, and although it doesn't get us perfect, like the doctor would like, but we're getting closer. We're getting closer. So, we got to keep chipping away. We'd like to have 1 in every building eventually. We'll still have some shares in the smaller buildings, but it gets us closer to where we eventually want to be. The fine visual performing arts teacher I mentioned, and then a custodian at EAS. EAS has grown in size, number of kids, and also square footage of building. We've been holding off on this because 2018-19 was when we were kind of done with that. 19-20, if you remember, became an interrupted year, and we had a lot of other things on our mind. And 2021, we still had a lot of things on our mind, but this is something that we knew we were going to need to get to eventually. And now that we're using our buildings the way the buildings were designed, again, finally, thank God, we're certainly realizing the need for that support. And I'm sure Mr. Romero will appreciate that. And that really brings us to our revenue and appropriation side of the budget, which is all the numbers, which I'm going to let Mr. Valencia talk about. So if you come up, Lou Valencia is our school business administrator.
Right, thank you. So this is the fun stuff, numbers. So here we have, this is just a summary of our tax levy. So last year our FY23 tax levy was 151,058,310. This year we qualified for an enrollment adjustment, which is additional students, which the state tells us what that number is. 662,707 is what we additionally got, which we can add to our tax levy. When you add the two, it's 154, 177, 437. And I'll go into the healthcare adjustment a little bit later. Because of the increase in the state health benefits, the state has allowed most districts to take this adjustment to account for the huge increase to the state health benefits. I believe it was 15.1%. So we are allowed to take that adjustment, which brings our total 24 tax levy to 157,818.35. These are our capital projects that we're looking to fund using our capital reserve. Dr. Ravalli had alluded to earlier, it's basically a savings account where at the end of each year we are able to allocate any unspent funds to put into our capital reserve account to help maintain our buildings. So this year we're looking to pull out 2.3 million, 1,750,000 towards the upgrades for the chillers at the high school and FPS, 145,000 for paving throughout the district, 75,000 for flooring throughout the district. We have to upgrade the meters at all of our schools, 250,000 for that. Our water meters, 250,000 for that. 45,000 to upgrade some of the fire panels, and then 35,000 for the SGS loading dock. Again, and all these have to be part of our long-range facility plan, which is approved by the state. So we can't just use this money for anything that's not part of our long-range facility plan. This is a breakout of our revenue for FY24. So you can see there's our tax levy, which we went over 2 slides ago. Compared to last year, we are up 6.9 million or 4.5%. Normally, we're allowed to go over the 2% because of the healthcare adjustment and the enrollment adjustment. The state allows for that. We have our funded balance, which is money that is not spent from prior year that we use towards the next year's budget. We were able to reduce that about 930,000, which is great because that means we're less reliant on prior year underspending to maintain the budget. Tuition revenue, we are expecting it flat. Interest for reserves flat. We are withdrawing less money this year for capital reserves. Miscellaneous income, that's up 250,000. That's because we have we saw a change in interest rates and then also an uptick in some rentals, which brings our total local revenue to 162,447,860, 4.5 million or 2.9%. These are the additional revenues that we get from the state. So this is our state aid. We got 5.8 million, a 5.8 million increase. This was due to an increase in certain categories: transportation, special ed. I forget the other one. The other one's I don't remember the other one. It's transportation, special ed, security. So that's part of the reason why we got such a huge increase. And you'll see later when I do the comparison, that money is being spent up because of the increases that we're seeing across the state for transportation and security. Extraordinary aid, that is flat, and semi-aid, that is up $52,000. Total operating revenue, $24,002,066, and then total operating expenses, $186,449,926. And then we have our special revenue. These are our grants, so our Title I, Title II, Title III, ESSER, IDEA, Pre-K. These are outside of the operating budget. So you can see we have a pretty big decrease of about $2 million. That is because ESSER money is falling away. So we don't have that anymore. So you see that falling. And then we have our debt service. That's down about $217,000. Part of that was the district had refinanced some of its bonds, so we're starting to reap some of those rewards because of a lower interest rate. Add all that together, our total revenue for FY24 is $213,803,051. Now this is the budget-to-budget comparison, so what we appropriated for FY23 to what we appropriated for FY24. Excuse me. Increase of 1.7 in regular instruction, increase in bilingual AIS alternative ed of 600,000, increase in special ed instruction 1.5 million, co-curricular 90,000, student support services 713,000, out of district tuition 942,000, administration and technology, we were able to bring that down a bit. Operation and maintenance, 459,000 to help maintain the building and all the other security that we need. Student transportation, that's up 1.9 million. Again, reason why we got additional state aid is because of the crazy increase to transportation costs for districts. Employee benefits, 3.5 million, that's an increase. Again, another reason why we took the healthcare adjustment, because of that huge increase that the state saw regarding their state plan. Capital outlay, 1.5 million down, taking less out for capital projects, and then charter tuitions up slightly, 415,000, for a total general fund of 186,449,926, or an increase of 8.9 million. Now we have our tax information. So for 22, our tax levy 157,101,265, compared to our 164,387,049 for the upcoming year, which is a difference of 7.2 million. Assessed value, that's up 1.2 billion, and the tax rate actually dropped 59 cents. This is the impact that we expect on the average home. The big thing to note here is that the assessed value of the homes is up 44,000, or which is just a little over 11%. 11%. School tax rate of 1.25. You can see that dropped a little bit, and then the tax rate is going to look at roughly a estimated $25 increase in their monthly taxes on the school side. And that's it.
Madam President, questions from the board?
Thank you very much for the fourth presentation of this. But
You're welcome.
thank you very much and thank you to all the budget managers and everyone who's worked on the budget. So board members, do you have any questions? Sammy? Nishida? Lori?
No, thank you.
Bill?
No.
Dennis?
No.
Walter?
No.
Ardeman?
No, thank you.
Okay. Since this is a public presentation, we're going to open this up to comments from the public on the budget only. So please state your name and address and come up to the microphone.
I'll bring them a mic if they have a question.
Okay. Wow, such service.
Oh, thank you.
What?
Just raise your hand.
Oh, so can I get a motion to open?
So
I move
moved.
that we open
Moved by-
public comment.
You heard he moved it, right, and seconded? Second? Who's seconding? Lori, all in favor? Opposed? Now we have the hostess with the mostest, Dr. Ravalli.
If you have a question, raise your hand and I'll bring you the mic.
Madam President, since no one out in the public has a question, so moved to close it.
And close public comment on the budget, moved by Dennis, seconded by Sammy, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The public portion of that is now closed, and now we are on to moving our budget. Lori, as the chair of the Finance Committee, would you move the budget, please?
I would like to move that we accept the budget as presented this evening.
Okay, moved by Lori, seconded by
Second.
Ardeman. All in favor?
Aye.
Can you do roll call? Do you need roll call, Brian? Okay.
Yes.
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 Yes. Our budget is now moved. And now we are on to, do we have a student representative? Okay, now we are on to our superintendent's report.
Yes, and I don't have a report this evening other than, because I knew we'd be late, I wanted to thank our volunteers once again, those who remain here, our booster clubs. Volunteerism has been the theme this year, And it should be a theme every year because our volunteers are phenomenal to our schools, and we couldn't do it without them. So we appreciate all their efforts and all their work. And thank you, Mrs. Clark, for organizing wonderful presentations every month where we've been recognizing our volunteers. I want to thank Mr. Valencia and his wonderful team of folks who labored over putting the budget together. The budget process is never easy. And undoubtedly there are always roadblocks and things that we have to overcome. And, you know, Lewis and his team did a wonderful job. Mr. Bonanno, our assistant superintendent for business, also a wonderful job. And thanks to all the budget managers. I said we had 38 of them. And again, a lot of them are here tonight. Not by design, by the way. It just actually happened that way for a variety of different reasons. And but we do appreciate you coming out and supporting the work that you do. And so again, and thanks to the board, the finance committee, who all along stayed with us step by step as we met some of those challenges. And then again, the whole board, again, you know, this is the third time we presented this over a 3-month period. We have been going back and forth, making the adjustments as necessary. So we appreciate your support as board members, and I know the budget managers appreciate your support, and I know the kids certainly do as well. So lots of neat things will be supported within the budget, as you saw, and we're looking forward to getting ready and getting plans together as we, believe it or not, start to develop next school year. So, thanks.
Thank you. So to piggyback on what John just said, we're all volunteers, we're elected, but we all give of our time, not just sitting here, but we give of our time out in the community and a lot of school-sponsored organizations. I feel slighted that I didn't get something from the Booster Club because I was voluntold by Marissa to help the Booster Club, but we all are out in the community helping, and I kind of believe in top-down stuff. So if we're asking you to volunteer, we need to be volunteers ourselves, and I know that many of you volunteer in many, many capacities with the schools and outside of the schools. So for that, thank you, and thank you to all of our volunteers. The following Franklin High School students will have their work published in Ramapo College's next book collection called The Helpers. These students shared stories about people who helped them succeed most in life. Within the next 2 months, each of them will be published authors with the book available on Amazon. It's pretty cool. They are Alanka Thier, Marin, like I have a phonetic spelling of this and I still can't get it. Kayla Washington and Isabella Robles. And earlier this month, the Franklin High School Drumline performed for Gotham Football Club, a professional women's soccer team's season opener at the Red Bull Arena. The students played outside the stadium and on the field with Gotham's own professional drumline. It was a very exciting event and an awesome opportunity for our students to perform at a professional sporting event. The following HSC students have won the Somerset County Fire Safety Poster Design Contest. First place is Zarifa Mamadila, and second place is Angeli Montoya Lopez, and third place is Gabriela Ayuadu. State winners should be announced next month, and additionally, Neem Casey was a winner for the Black History Month essay contest, sponsored by Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. At Franklin Park School last week, 5th grade student Addie Jagan Mohan was congratulated by several officers from the New Jersey State Police for winning the 40th Annual National Missing Children's Day Poster Contest for the state of New Jersey. Addie's work will be entered in the upcoming national contest, and congratulations to all these kids because they did a fantastic job. Members of the Franklin High School dance program have been invited to perform at the Gershwin Theater in New York City on June 19th at a show called Arts for Autism. They're raising funds to support this trip and other endeavors. Please visit the district website for information on these students and the other wonderful things our students are doing. And this is kind of really appropriate because this is Autism Awareness Month. Some other things that I wanted to bring up. there are a lot of events going on right now in the schools, and you can check them out on the district website. There's school events, school sponsored organizations, so everything's up on the district website. The Project Graduation Clothing Drive, which is my personal holiday, is on the 15th at Sampson G. Smith. Project Grad and Booster Club are holding their food trucks, which is heaven, and a rummage sale on the 20th. Last week, the Chamber of Commerce, which Bill is now an officer of, recognized Marissa Gallagher for her volunteerism and Coach Francis for her educational leadership. Coach Francis obviously was the cheerleading coach, and Marissa, you just met, was is the outgoing president of 10 years of the Booster Club. And also last weekend, Warrior for Life, another organization that is really near and dear to mine and Bill Hart's, because we are Warriors for Life. And we're second year indoctrinated into that organization. But it's a really great organization because it gives money to our students, and they have given out tens of thousands of dollars in donations for our students. So it's a really wonderful organization. But again, check on the district website, and there's so much going on. And plus, Franklin Township Warrior Education Foundation, which is a foundation that the district has, is holding their golf outing on the 26th of June at the Blue Heron Golf Club. So check that out, and that's also on the district website under school-sponsored organizations. And so that ends my president's report, and now we are on to comments from the public. Can I get a motion to open that?
Ms. LaCourte, may I forgot to thank one person, Maya Patel. And I don't know if you remember Maya, but she visited the Finance Committee when we were deliberating about the final piece of the budget, and that was whether or not to create the volleyball team, and we wanted to make sure there was enough interest. And Maya Patel is one of our students at the high school who did a tremendous job over the last year and a half, collecting information and putting together a presentation that really helped to make us recognize that it was our next best step. And she's still interested. I just happened to look down at my computer, and she emailed to see if the budget passed because she is following up. And kudos to her. She did a tremendous job, and I wanted to publicly recognize her and also thank the board for listening and inviting her to our meeting and hearing what she had to say, because the voice of our students is really should always be taken into account, and this is one instance where it paid off.
That was a fantastic presentation that she gave, and also the gender inequity class that our students are required to take before graduation. That was also a presentation by students. So they have a very loud, extremely well prepared, and engaging voice, and we listen. So thanks for reminding me about that. And now we are opening public comments on agenda items only. Can I get a motion to open that? So moved by Nishida, seconded by Sammy. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public comment on anything is now open. So please step up to the microphone. You're going to have to walk this time because Dr. Valley's sitting down. But he is available to bring you coffee. So if anybody has any comments from the public, please step up to the microphone, state your name and address.
Seeing no comments from the public, I move to close the public portion.
Motion to close public comment by Bill, seconded by Dennis. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public comment is now closed. And now we're on to our committee and liaison reports, which include the Franklin Township Public School and Council. We have a liaison meeting a couple times a year. That happened on April 5th. Policy and curriculum happened on the 17th. Personnel on the 19th. Facilities and finance on the 24th are all going to be available online. So please read them online. And now we are on to new business.
Would like to make a motion to move the following. R1 monthly reports, M1 minutes of board meetings, A1 travel and related expense reimbursement, A2 affirm harassment, intimidation, and bullying decisions, A3 teacher appreciation week, A4 special education week, A5 autism awareness resolution, A6 sick awareness and appreciation month, A7 2023-2024 PEA budget revision, A8 Special Education Board Policy Statement of Assurance, A9, Semi-Action Plan, A10, Settlement Agreement, A13, Facilities Use A through F, A14, FTPS YMCA Care Partnership, A15, Revised Policies Second Reading and Adoption, A16, Revised Bylaw First Reading, A17, Revised Policies First Reading, A18, Revised Regulation Adoption. B1 Warrants and Payrolls, B2 Financial Reports, B3 Contract Approvals A through S, B4 Change Orders, none at this time, B5 Award of a competitive contract for district vehicles, B6 Award of RFP for Attorney Special Education, B7 Award of RFP for Occupational Therapy Services, B8 Award of RFP for Therapeutic Mental Health Services, B9 Receipt of Bids, Student Transportation, B10 Award of Bid, Student Transportation, B11 Award of RFP for Architect of Record, B12 Award of RFP for Attorney Services, B13 Award of RFP for Auditing Services, B14 Award of RFP for Physical Therapy Services, B15 Award of RFP for Nursing Services one-to-one and substitutes, B16 Award of RFP for Contracted Preschool with a private child care provider, B17 Equipment Swap with Piscataway Public Schools, B18 Fiscal Year 2024 FTBOE Estimated Tuitions, B19 Transportation Contract, B20 Fiscal Year 23 State Aid Non-Public, B21 Approval of Paid Lunch Equity Waiver, C1 Out of District Students School Year 2022-2023, C2 Field Trip Destinations, C3 Field Trip Applications A and B, C4 Approve Assessment Software Pilot, P1 Personal Report Number 10 dated today, April 25, 2023 with Addendum Number 10, P2 FTEA Sidebar Agreement, P3 District Emergency Closing Days, P4 FTEA Association President Full-Time Leave. So once again, there is a motion to move R1M1, A2 to A10, A13 to A18, B1 to B21, C1 to C4, P1 plus Addendum 10 through P4.
Okay, R1, M1, A1 to A10, A13 to 18, A11 and 12 were pulled. B1 to B21, C1 to C4, P1 to P4, adding Addendum 10. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Seconded by Nishida. Brian, roll call, please.
Ms. Desai? Yes. Mr. Grippo?
Yeah.
Dr. Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Ms. Merritt?
Yes.
Mr. Shabbat?
Were any of these discussed in the pre-meeting that I should not be approving because I wasn't at that meeting? Were any of these at the meeting for this meeting because I didn't attend it?
Addendum 10.
Okay, so everything but Addendum 10. Yes to everything, abstain from Addendum 10. Did I get it verbatim?
Yes to everything, abstain from A14 because I'm an employee of YMCA.
Yes, for everything. Motion carries. Motions carry. And now I would like to introduce the new principal for Franklin Middle School at Sampson G. Smith. I think her name's Rebecca Solomon. Might know her.
Thank you. Thank you all so much. So moved, as always. I think this is my third time in front of you accepting a principalship, and just really like to publicly thank all of the staff and students at Franklin Park School, absolutely, for preparing me, but also Franklin High School. Just so proud to serve in this capacity and so appreciative of your trust in me, your dedication and support to our profession, and just so proud to work beside each and every one of you. Thank you so much.
Sammy got you. So you have time to write that letter now. And now we are on to comments from the board members for good of the order. Can I get a motion to open that, please?
So moved.
I just did that. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm like sailing through this. Can I get a motion to open public comment on anything?
So moved.
Moved by Sammy, seconded by
Second.
Nishida. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public comment on anything is now open.
Madam President.
Wait, Nick DiMiglio, don't you have something coming up that you want to talk about? Okay. No, DiMiglio.
Oh, I thought you meant Art.
Yeah, we can't.
Seeing no voluntary public comments, I move to close.
Motion to close public comment by Sammy, seconded by Dennis. Public comment on anything is closed. Now we are on to good of the order. Dennis, do you have anything for good of the order?
Just quickly, that we are getting close to the end of the school year, and I guess it's the next week. I guess the high schoolers would know where they are possibly going at next year. The seniors, so good luck with them, and yeah, it's that time of the year. Prom coming up, graduation soon with all levels. Let's finish strong.
Thank you. Sammy, do you have anything?
Yeah, sure. Just wanted to reiterate the thanks. Congratulations, and I wish you a lot of luck. It's really amazing to see the same people. Like, I think your name appeared like 3 or 4 times today, right? In terms of different volunteerships. So it's not just that you guys are leading, but you're leading by example. You're actually participating, and I think that's all the difference in the world. So much appreciated for you and for your husband, of course, and all that he does. And to the whole Franklin family, it's great to see the work that Darren is doing, and much appreciated to continue to appreciate those folks. So thank you to all those folks that are here as well. Super important work. And then the last bit is we had a meeting with the town council recently, and I think that went great. And I think, I'm not sure we can divulge sort of all the different pieces that we spoke about there, but there's a lot of exciting initiatives, and I feel excited that the Board of Education and the Town Council at least are sort of meeting together to discuss some of these topics to increase healthcare availability to the community and to increase the number of pre-K students that we're going to be able to support. I think we're like far and beyond any of the local townships in terms of how many of those folks, and that has implications to the parents, to the families that can now, work because their children are being taken care of. We're now educating kids at a younger age, which means that they have a probably higher trajectory throughout their life. So a lot of that work is being done behind the scenes, and I'm super happy and proud of that. So just wanted to share that.
Thank you. Nishida?
I want to piggyback off of what Sammy said. Congratulations, Rebecca. It is amazing to see that you now have touched every stage of a child's life. I really appreciate all you've done. This is also Teacher Appreciation Week. I have a quote from Sidney Hook, who said, "Everyone who remembers his own education remembers teachers, not methods and techniques. The teacher is the heart of the educational system." And to all the teachers that are in front of me, thank you from the bottom of my heart for what you do for Franklin. And everybody has teacher, even if your profession has changed over the years. Thank you.
Thank you. Lori?
I just want to congratulate Mrs. Solomon and tell you that I am so excited for our SGS students because they will have the continuity of someone that has been at SGS in her past teaching career and really understands the school moving forward. So congratulations. We'll be there if there's anything you need.
Thank you. Bill?
So I got a few things. Since the last meeting, let's see. This week I was at Franklin Park School to see that young man, Mohan, receive that state award from the state police. Rebecca, that was really quite an accomplishment. He's number one kid in New Jersey, the overall winner. Very exciting to hear about the volleyball team at Franklin High School. We're beginning to continue to lift up the academic life of the school system, which is important. That ties into the Booster Club recognition tonight. Marissa Gallagher has been a champion, a real warrior, and was also recognized by the Chamber of Commerce last week. I was at the Franklin High School musical, and that was a phenomenal. The talent of our kids is just amazing. Again, with Rebecca here tonight taking over Sampson, I think it'll continue the good work at Sampson and bring the school to another level, which is really great. YMCA Camp SOAR is something to keep your mind on. We have a great camp going on in Colonial Park this summer. You can get more information on the WISE website. I was at the Warrior for Life event, and everybody looked great. I looked great. You know, I wore a hat. I mean, it was just a great. Did you take a picture of me, Darren? I didn't. Okay, very good. I was at Pine Grove too between the last few weeks for this STEM activity they had that benefited the food bank, and Miss Miles did just a great job with coordinating all that effort. I've done some visit to Elizabeth Avenue School with Principal Romero, and sights are set on a new sign out there, and he's really leading a great committee to get that sign improved. So there's been a lot going on in Franklin, and Rebecca, good luck.
Walter?
To all the DEI volunteers and folks in the school who are doing the work, Mr. Plummer, thank you. Once again, to the Booster Club, Marissa, and all the work that she has done. She will indeed be missed, and those will indeed be some hard shoes to fill, but we have some amazing folks in Franklin, so I know someone's definitely going to step up. Nancy. And congratulations again, Rebecca Solomon. What's your why? I know your why is dedication, and I know your why is commitment. And I want to thank you for the work that you continue to do in our district. We as a board, Dr. Valley and his team, the parents and the students, I know they absolutely love you. I know you will be missed in Franklin Park, but as you said, those kids will definitely be looking forward to seeing you at SGS. And last, I want to read a quote by Harry Belafonte. He passed away today. He was 96. Each and every one of you has the power, the will, and the capacity to make a difference in the world in which you live in. Daylight come, and I'm ready to go home. Thank you.
Ardeman?
I have to echo everything that was said, and I broke the mic. So I want to thank everyone who came here. I want to give a special thank and a special shout out to Mr. Plummer. April is Sikh Heritage Month, and Mr. Plummer did a phenomenal job by educating a lot of staff about who a Sikh is. Sikhism is the 5th largest religion, and people still don't know about who Sikhs are. We wear turbans, the men wear turbans, and even till today, our boys who wear turbans are still bullied in schools, and 68% of Sikh boys and girls are bullied in school, and I'm really grateful and thankful that our district is way ahead of other districts in New Jersey. And on the same note, congratulations to Rebecca Solomon. I know you will make us proud and continue to make us proud. You both are our dream team. And, my son has been very fortunate. He graduated 2020 from the high school, and you were there. And he will be really excited when I share that news with him that you will be going to Sampson G. Smith campus. And I wish you luck, continued success to both of you. And, you'll continue to make our schools a happy place to be for our kids. Thank you.
I talked a lot, but I just want to say that we hear the name Solomon a lot. We also hear the name Plummer a lot. You guys were the founders of Warrior for Life. But there's so many other names within Franklin that we hear a lot because these are people that do, and they don't ask to be seen. They're just giving of themselves, be it in a classroom, outside of a classroom. There's so many ways that Franklin people give of themselves, but also the people that choose to work here give of themselves. And we only think of like, you're just a teacher, you're just a principal, you're just a para. Outside of being all those things, they have incredibly busy lives, and their day doesn't stop when the bell rings to go home. But they also give back of themselves. And I think that that's a really important thing to remember. And especially since this is Teacher Appreciation Month, Special Education Month, Autism Awareness Month, that one's personal to me. But there's so many ways that you can get involved and you can make a difference. So I ask that everybody do that. And Rebecca, thank you. Thank you for being Rebecca. And thank you for everything that you do. And Nick, you're not going to see her anymore now. And in the words of Harry Belafonte, daylight comes and I want to go home. So we are adjourned.